So here we are today with my good and longtime buddy, Adam Nussbaum. Hello, Adam.
Hey, Rob. How are you hanging in there, brother?
Good, good. This is another in our lockdown video series. I think we should call it the lockdown series. Everybody at home.
Better to be locked down than locked up.
So, Adam, for those that don't know, obviously a world-class player. I always kid Adam. He has his one-nighters. They happen to be in Europe most of the time. He puts on more mileage than just about anybody I know, actually under normal times, not these last few weeks. But Adam, has got an unbelievably distinguished career musically, and besides being a great guy and a great jazz player, for which he's probably mostly known, he's really a guy that, to me, is a historian of music. And until I got to know Adam better, I didn't know that. He's as fluent talking about Mitch Mitchell as he is talking about, Art Blakey and Elvin Jones. So he really runs the gamut. And for anybody that's interested, you should reach out to Adam. He's an excellent teacher and really has the whole thing covered from A to Z. One of the really most diversified sort of guys that I know in terms of their body of knowledge and, real detail. Those records behind them, I'm sure, they run the gamut too. So anyway, that's Adam. And I thought today he could talk for a couple of minutes. He was really the seed that started the Brushes DVD project that we have on Hudson. That's really, I think, an underutilized project. It's an incredible compilation of many drummers, which Adam will talk about in a minute, but we have play along tracks. There's a 35 booklet that comes with the project that talks about the history really of brushes. It's a wonderful resource for anybody that's interested in brush playing. So rather than me yapping, let's Adam, he could talk a little bit about how the project gets started, and then maybe we can get him to demonstrate a couple of brush patterns.
Well, thanks first of all for having me today. I'm very grateful to be here. This is rough times for everybody. One of the things that I think is great about the brushes is that you can practice day or night, wherever you're living, and not disturb people, which in these times is something that we're probably having a difficult time dealing with as such. I saw that there were so many DVDs that were coming out. All different people were putting things out. And I was thinking, well, how can I give back something to the community that hasn't really been addressed? And being somebody who grew up in the New York area, I was fortunate to firsthand be able to sit next to so many of the living masters. Go down to the Village Vanguard, sit in that little seat in the corner right next to the drums, and literally be 2 feet, 3 feet away from everything that was happening. And the thing that I noticed was that many times when you hear a recording, if you have a little bit of intellect, you can determine what the individual is playing with sticks. But with brushes, you really can't tell because you don't know, are they moving this way? Are they moving that way? So I figured, since I was so lucky to be able to view a lot of these things firsthand, there should be some documentation for the people that don't have the access to something like that. So I figured, wouldn't it be a great idea to put together a DVD utilizing different individuals so the viewer could observe how everyone had different choreography and figure out what moves were being made. And that was the original impetus for it.
You know, what I love is the project, there were these play along tracks, which, come with the package. So, the person at home can play along with the same tracks that, Joe Morello and Charli Persip and Billy,
Sure.
are playing with. But each of them played with the same tracks. So you get to see the different approaches from each guy, which I thought was really, fascinating.
Absolutely. I mean, if you get 10 different drummers in a room playing with sticks, it's going to sound different. And it's going to look different. And the same thing with the brushes. And you really need to see what somebody's doing with the brushes, because you can't tell from a recording what's going on.
And just the whole motion, like, to me, the great brush players always look like, to me, an ice skater. It was just like that fluid motion that they had. And I remember, one of the first guys that really struck me hard with brush playing is like you said, happened to be sitting very close to Louis Bellson. And the motion that he had, it was just like he wasn't even touching the drum. It was such a beautiful, like, great watching this, master ice skater.
I love the fact that you brought that up, because I get inspired when I watch them gliding on the ice. I find that there's just that grace and that fluidity.
Yeah.
I get inspired by a lot of visual things when I'm watching a wave in the ocean. When you watch a great dancer, I mean, when you see somebody like Louis Bellson, it's almost like he's conjuring up somebody like Fred Astaire.
Right.
And for those youngsters out there who don't know who Fred Astaire is, he was one of the great dancers of all time. He had a profound effect on all the people like Michael Jackson and everybody. I mean, he was a major inspiration for a lot of these people. And just the grace and the ability to like glide over the floor was something that I find very inspiring. So even like watching a great ballet dancer, whatever, just to have that, or watching a beautiful bird soaring in the sky. I've been doing a bunch of that, going out for walks, and you see the eagles and the hawks just cruising in the thermals out there, because something that's going on more now.
Yeah. How about, let's say, for the person who's not an experienced brush player, show a couple of basic, patterns, and just like a 4/4 a ballad, let's say.
Well, the whole thing is, with the brushes, instead of dealing in a vertical motion, you're dealing in a lateral, circular, horizontal motion. And the way you get your sound in time with sticks is motion in time. And you have to apply that same concept to brushes. You need to learn how to make a circle in time. So you can use anything. You can use a cardboard box or a newspaper or something, and you learn how to just make a motion in time.
So where would the one be? Count us off.
Over here. One would be here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1.
Great. That's great.
It almost sounds like breathing.
Yeah. And where would the like, let's say it's kind of a swing thing. What would your right hand be doing?
Well, initially, I think what you need to do is you need to learn how to make your circles in time.
Where's the one?
1 is the home position. 1, 2. And 4. And 3, 4. I'm hitting those index points. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 triplet, 1 triplet, 2. Your motion has to be in time. Now, the slower the tempo, the bigger the motion because you have more space between the beats. And the faster the tempo, maybe the more elliptical in shape things will get to be. So if I was going to play, let's say, just a medium tempo, and I'm not doing any accenting, now I can do the cymbal beat with the right hand while I'm maintaining that circular motion.
In.
I've always made the analogy that when I'm skipping it while I'm making the motion, it's like when you would take a flat stone and throw it on the water and watch it dance. We've all done that. So the thing is, you want to maintain that continuity of motion. Of course, you can utilize the brushes like sticks and play them in a more vertical manner, you know.
Count it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 1. But if I'm doing it this way, it's a little smoother and more legato. And you'll notice the beats are going to be in the same place every time. And it may be going this way or might be going this way. But the thing is learning how to get initially the circles in time. Once you get that together, then you can start exploring variations, small circles, big circles. So let's say a ballad like 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I can have the left hand get big also. I can just have the left hand get big and keep the right hand small. I can have them both get big. And it almost sounds like breathing. And once you get that basic concept together, then have fun, experiment. And you can get into all different kinds of things going. You can, like a little Brazilian thing. Or funky. You're only limited by your imagination.
What's interesting, Adam, to me is even like in the real slow ballad that you just demonstrated, you know, there was always an accent or an emphasis on 2 and 4.
Yeah. Well, you want to be able to generate, and there are different ways to accent. You can put more fan of the brush on the surface.
Yeah,
that's going the opposite direction. You could go. You can also move it faster if you want to have a shorter accent instead of a broader accent. And you have the tip of the brush gets one kind of sound, the whole fan, and you really can do it with very little pressure. You don't have to do a lot. And once you start getting that together, what the thing is, you need to deal with subject. You brought up earlier, I'm somebody who really has an interest and a curiosity about tradition because nobody came out of the petri dish fully formed. Anybody you love, whoever your heroes are, they've got their musical fathers. We all have those people that inspired us, and we all learn from them. Everybody I hear from, I learn something from. Maybe I learn what not to do as much as what I want to do. And there's different things you're going to hear from different players. Maybe some players, you enjoy their fantasy. Maybe other ones, you enjoy their articulations. Maybe others, you respect their technical ability. And then, of course, for me, the most important thing is the guys that got a feel and a beat. Because if it feels good, nobody really cares what else is going on.
Absolutely.
So that to me is the main factor, the feel factor. And whatever ideas you play, you should never sacrifice the feel. And the thing that I've noticed is for me is that you have to try to get what you play in that zone, in that feeling. Don't sacrifice the flow. No herky jerky. I've been inspired by watching, like I said, dancers, the waves, watching a beautiful woman walk and see that little bump.
Uh-oh.
You know, that's something else too. So like when you're playing a figure like this, listen to this one. Here's the same pattern, but now I'm going to accent the triplets in here. Woo.
I want to thank you, Adam. You make it look so easy. And
Well, like anything, initially when you start, it's not going to be easy.
yeah,
After you do it enough, like anything, you don't want to be thinking about mechanics if you have to play music with people.
absolutely.
Just like we're speaking now. We're not thinking about brain, tell the mouth to do this. We got this. You have to do something enough so you become unconsciously competent.
There you go.
Because we only got so much bandwidth. You know what I mean? And I'd say for those of you, if you're stuck at home, take you can find a box. Different drum heads will have different sounds. I found this marching head. It's like a weave. This is really loud. So you can't cheat. I found this old record from my collection. This has got a nice sound too. And go on YouTube and search out recordings that have no drums. Nat King Cole Trio, great recordings. No drums, they're swinging like crazy.
That's a great idea.
You can have people to play with. You put on a headphone at night, take one off, listen to what you're doing. And those tracks are only 3 minutes, so you have to figure out how you can orchestrate everything. The intro will be one thing. A will be something else. B, you got to do something different. Last day is something different. Piano solo, you got to do something different. Guitar solo, something different. So you learn different ways to shade your motions and what I call shade the song, orchestrate the song. Because we all know the quickest way to change the sound of a band, change the drummer. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you, Adam.
Hey, man, we could go all day. This has been a ball for me. Thanks for breaking up the Groundhog Day scenario.
I appreciate it. And you're a wealth of information. I urge people to reach out to you for more.
It's my pleasure. And, you know, for those of you that haven't checked it out, you want to get more into it, check out that brush DVD, The Art of Playing Brushes. You'll find a wealth of information. I'm very grateful we did it because we've lost quite a few of those gentlemen that were on that, and they were treasures in this whole journey here.
Yeah, absolutely. Well said.
Well, I always look towards the elders, and I'm very grateful. I have a lot of gratitude because know them, know me.
Thank you. Well said. A great ending point right there. You said everything. So thanks, Adam. It's always a pleasure. And
thank you, Rob, for all you're doing.
We'll do it again soon.
Amen. Stay healthy.
Yeah, and we're all going to get through this thing together. I know it.
Yes, sir.